Imagine being sent away to spend the rest of your life forgotten, only to come back and take the entire empire for yourself. That is exactly what Wu Zetian did. Before she became the most feared woman in China, before she became the only female emperor in Chinese history, she was just a teenage girl entering a palace where one wrong move could destroy her. And somehow, she didn't just survive, she won. At just 14 years old, Wu Zetian was taken to the imperial palace of Emperor Taizong, a world of silk robes, golden halls, and endless luxury. But do not let the beauty fool you. Behind every elegant smile was competition. Behind every compliment was calculation. Hundreds of women were all fighting for the attention of one man. The emperor. It was less a palace, and more a beautifully decorated battlefield. Wu entered as a low-ranking concubine. She was not the emperor's favorite. She was not the most powerful. And that may have been her greatest advantage. Because while everyone else was trying desperately to be noticed, Wu was watching, listening, learning. She studied how power moved through the palace. Who whispered to whom? Who held influence? Who could be trusted, and who could not? She understood something very quickly. Beauty might get you into the palace, but intelligence was what kept you alive. And Wu had plenty of it. She was educated, politically sharp, and far more ambitious than anyone realized. Then someone noticed her, not the emperor, his son, the crown prince, Li Ji, and honestly, that alone was already scandalous. Because no one knows exactly how close they became while she was still officially one of his father's concubines. But what matters is this: Li Ji remembered her. And Wu made sure he would. Then everything changed. Emperor Taizong died, and according to palace tradition, concubines without children were sent away to Buddhist monasteries. No second chances, no palace life, no power, one day surrounded by gold and luxury. The next, erased. For most women, that would have been the end. But Wu Zetian was not most women. She went quietly, she played her part, she let everyone believe she was gone. But she was not defeated. She was waiting, because sitting on the throne now was Li Ji, the prince who had not forgotten her. She entered the palace as a concubine. She left as a forgotten woman. But soon, she would return, and when she did, she would not be coming back to survive. She would be coming back to conquer. When Wu Zetian returned to the imperial palace, she did not come back quietly. She came back favored, chosen, protected by Emperor Li Ji himself. And that made her dangerous. Because Li Ji already had a wife, the Empress Wang, and Wu Zetian was not just another concubine competing for attention. She was a threat to everything Wang had. The palace quickly split into sides. Supporters, enemies, watchful eyes in every corridor, whispers behind every silk curtain. And then, Wu Zetian gave birth to a daughter. For a moment, it should have been a celebration. A child, a future, a victory. But within days, the baby was dead, strangled, inside Wu Zetian's own chambers. The palace was thrown into chaos. And Wu Zetian accused Empress Wang. She claimed the empress had entered her chambers. She claimed Wang had touched the child. She claimed Wang had murdered her daughter. And Emperor Li Ji believed her. Or perhaps, he wanted to. The accusation was devastating. It was exactly what Wu needed. Empress Wang's reputation shattered. Her enemies multiplied. Her position weakened, and Wu Zetian rose. But then the rumors began. Whispers too dangerous to speak aloud. What if Empress Wang had not killed the baby? What if Wu Zetian had done it herself? To this day, historians still debate what really happened. There was no proof, no witnesses, only suspicion. But many believed Wu had made the ultimate sacrifice. Her own child, for power, and whether it was true or not. It worked. Empress Wang was removed, stripped of her title, locked away, and Wu Zetian became empress. But her rise was far from over. Because becoming empress was only the beginning. Wu Zetian had done the impossible. She had risen from concubine to empress. But for Wu, that was never the final goal. Because sitting beside power was not enough. She wanted to control it. And soon, she got the chance. Emperor Li Ji began to fall ill. Again and again, headaches, weakness, long periods where he could barely rule. And while the emperor faded into the background, Wu stepped forward, at first, quietly, reviewing documents, meeting officials, making decisions in his name. But it did not stay quiet for long. Soon, ministers were bowing to her, listening to her, fearing her, because everyone understood what was happening. Wu Zetian was no longer simply the emperor's wife. She was becoming the real ruler of China. And not everyone accepted that. Some officials protested, some criticized her, some dared to challenge her authority. Most of them did not remain a problem for long. Critics disappeared, rivals were removed, accusations of treason spread like wildfire. And somehow, Wu always came out stronger. The court became a place where fear ruled, where loyalty meant survival, and Wu Zetian knew exactly how to use both. Then Emperor Li Ji died. And Wu did something no woman was supposed to do. She refused to step aside. She ruled through her sons, controlling the throne from behind the curtain. But even that was not enough. Because Wu Zetian did not want to whisper power, she wanted to claim it, openly, and soon, she would make a decision no woman in Chinese history had ever dared to make. She would stop serving the empire, and declare herself its emperor. For years, Wu Zetian had ruled from the shadows, through emperors, through sons, through fear, through silence, but power borrowed was never enough. She wanted something no woman had ever been allowed to claim. The throne, not beside it, not behind it, on it, and in the year 690, Wu Zetian did the unthinkable. She declared herself emperor, not empress. Emperor, the highest title in the empire, a title reserved only for men. A title no woman in Chinese history had ever dared to take. Until her. Just imagine the outrage. Court officials protested, scholars condemned her, whispers filled every corridor. They called her unnatural, dangerous, a woman who had broken the order of the world itself. But Wu Zetian, she did not care. She had not fought her way through decades of palace betrayal, just to ask permission. She built her own dynasty, the Zhou dynasty, and for the first time in Chinese history, a woman ruled the empire in her own name. Not everyone feared her, some admired her, because Wu Zetian did something unexpected. She reformed the government, promoted talented officials, expanded education, strengthened the empire. She could be ruthless, but she was also effective. And that is what makes her story so unsettling. Was she a villain, a tyrant, a brilliant ruler, a woman forced to become harder than the world around her? Maybe, she was all of it. In old age, her power began to fade. Enemies gathered, allies disappeared, and eventually, she was forced to step down. The throne she had taken was taken from her. Soon after, Wu Zetian died, but history never forgot her. The girl sent into the palace at 14. The concubine no one expected. The woman accused of sacrificing everything. The empress who refused to stop there. And the only woman to ever rule China as emperor. Love her, fear her, judge her. Wu Zetian made sure the world would remember her. And honestly, it still does. If you enjoyed this episode of Ancient Gossip, subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. Because history has far more secrets than it likes to admit. And tell me in the comments, was Wu Zetian a villain, or simply a woman